Well, first and foremost, before I thank the resiliency of our team, I've got to thank our crowd because it was Cody's with us tonight, and the decibel level, I think, reached the 120, 121 level his freshman year when he had a breakaway against Michigan State. I remember hearing that. And I don't know what it's been since then, but I think that decibel level was broke tonight a couple times in the game because it was just excruciatingly loud. And it was tremendous. And the crowd brought so much energy. And we had a lot of energy because we were playing a great team. And Iowa is everything that they're made out to be. They're everything that we thought that they would be, you know, from watching them on film, from the way they've gotten better over the years. They've earned their record. Nobody's handed it to them. Fran is a great coach. I mean, tremendous coach, tremendous staff over there. And we knew we were going to have to play a very hard, competitive, efficient game. At times we weren't efficient, but we found a way, and we were very competitive. We played with really strong grit, which these guys are learning what that's all about. And we got a lot of contributions from a lot of different people. And I thought for us, some real turning moments in the game, but I thought when Yogi came back in after took a couple breaths and went back in, I don't know if it's the 8-9 minute mark, whatever it was, I thought he really settled in. And his performance tonight reminded me of the Notre Dame game. He wanted to win the game so bad against Notre Dame, and he wasn't shooting it that well, and he settled himself in, made his teammates better, played tremendous defense, and raised everybody's level. And that's really kind of what happened tonight. And but we got so much good play from so many people. And to out-rebound this team, to get 44 deflections, to have the run that we had in the second half, to have so many people contribute is really it's an honor to coach them because they work extremely hard every day, and they do extra, and they study extra. And at the same time, you know, they're doing such a good job in school, but they spend a lot of time with each other, trying to make each other better, trying to understand each game for what it is. And we had to have all of that and more tonight because that is Iowa's the real deal. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So we earned this one, and we're proud of our guys. And it only gets easier. Now we get to go to East Lansing. So there's our schedule. That computer had a way of spitting out the schedule for us this year. But I know Tom has been sitting there anxiously awaiting this game, especially after Tuesday night, and they'll have 15,000 of his closest friends ready to go along with his team, and it'll be a tremendous atmosphere. But this is a big step for us tonight, and we're looking forward to our next challenge on Sunday. Go ahead.
You said kind of it's a big step for you guys tonight, especially going into the rest of your schedule. What can a win like this do against a top 5 opponent and a team like Iowa that you have so much respect for? What can it do for you guys moving forward?
Well, I think it's just another great experience. I mean, we'll find a lot of things that we could have done a lot better in the film, and hopefully we'll find some things that we'll do better when we go to Iowa, just like Fran will. But the bottom line is we competed throughout the game, and we played with confidence. I had tremendous confidence in our players tonight. Saturday night I got a little upset with them at times. I didn't see the same look back, you know, and I think tonight they were really wanted to win, and at times we just needed to settle down a little bit. And I think that's what it is. I mean, you don't have to play perfect. You just got to try to play as right as you possibly can, and you've got to try to cover for one another. And you've got to win the hustle game because that's what Iowa wins. They win the hustle game. And I thought the way our bench came in and played, I thought the way we were on the glass, even though we gave up some timely rebounds, I thought the way we shot the ball from the free throw line, the fact we got to the free throw line. You know, those are the kind of things that you've got to find a way. If we'd have done a better job Saturday night of getting the ball in the paint and getting fouled, I don't think we'd have lost the game. We shot 26 free throws, and we were in the bonus at the 12.5 minute mark. So the reason I bring that up is because it's all part of those experiences that you have to learn from. And you know, we have some older guys, but we're still a relatively young team. You know, when it comes to the freshmen, it comes to Max being here, and they're learning so much about each other. But every game is giving you something different, and you got to figure that out. And I hope they take that from tonight.
Is there any more, I guess, satisfaction? You score 85, and nobody had more than 14, and you got Diego makes that shot, Morgan makes a shot, every guy on the team pretty much contributes.
I haven't really looked at the numbers, so I didn't even really know our scoring. I looked at the deflections and then the rebounds. So I haven't really studied that yet.
It wasn't like one guy.
No, absolutely. I just think some guys Troy was like Lazarus. I mean, he resurrected himself a couple of times in the game, right? I mean, I love Troy. We don't want to drive the baseline when there's three down there. We want to cut along that baseline when there's nobody there. But I mean, we wouldn't win these games without his activity and without the plays that he makes. And he was really, really aggressive on the glass. So I think there were some really good moments. I think there were some really hard-fought moments, and they kept fighting. I mean, it was like today, you never know who's going to be in to close a game. And so like today, we weren't on the court very long for walkthrough, but we did watch film. And one of the things as a coach that you have to determine, it's a fine line, especially on the day of the game. Okay, we're going to go over how they win games at the last 2 minutes, how they play at the end. Because you don't want to put doubts in your guys' minds. But at the same time, if they really take it in and those moments come, then they've got that kind of confidence. And, we very much felt that Iowa wasn't going away no matter what we did. So it was a bottom line that we had to figure out a way to win the game. And so it's more that to me than it is the individual scoring and things like that. I'm sure the percentages will not be great, but the fact that I know the free throw percentage was great, and that's key.
Bob, Tom, when your team struggled in Maui and then against Duke, were you worried that this team could kind of go either way?
No, not at all. No, I knew we were too young. I mean, I knew the inner workings, right? I knew we had some health issues with Thomas. I knew we just weren't as connected yet as we needed to be defensively. But no, these we've got too good of people for them to have gone, and I got a lot of confidence in myself and the staff. I mean, our things were correctable. And there's no doubt about it. And we were working really hard. I had a friend of mine tell me that, because it's sometimes we might have been working too hard. He said, no, that's how you build your mental toughness, right? You work hard, you play in those type of games, you go through those experiences to get your mental toughness, and it manifests itself. If you don't do the work, then it's too easy to give in games. And the one thing this team hasn't done is give in any games, And but I was never worried that they wouldn't get better, and I think we can continue to get better. And I think we have to. I mean, with this schedule, we have to. So I was never worried about that.
Tom,
He's just blowing you off, Zach. Go ahead.
Tom, when you were deciding how to defend Jared, what made you decide to use Colin as the primary defender?
Well, I think that the one thing he's got, he's got some Nowitzki in his footwork. He's said this yesterday. He's got some Keith Van Horn. Our players wouldn't really remember Keith Van Horn, but he's got such good footwork. He's athletic. He's longer than people think. He leads the league in block shots. I think the key is that you can't give him a steady diet of anything. And we did not guard him as well, obviously, as we wanted to. We did not defend him the way that we had practiced as much. But that's a tribute probably to him, as much as us. But the key is that you can't get your hands in his body. I mean, you've got to get out wide, get your chest out, get your arms out, and be really active with your feet because he's so good with his feet. He is one thing that we spend time on is studying what's their strong foot, what foot do they need to score off. He can go off either. I mean, and that's for that level of player, for that size of player, to have that level of footwork to go with all the other things he has makes it really, really hard. And Jock's the same way. I mean, Jock's got tremendous footwork as well. So it was just a matter of giving him different looks, and we felt he was the best for it. And we'll have to really look at the film and see what we have to do better next time we play them. But they're hard to deal with. I mean, they are really hard to deal with. And one thing that's been such a plus for their team, one reason they're so good, is their numbers across the board. I mean, when they go to the bench, they don't lose much. And I thought our bench did a really good job tonight, and we took every one of their guys on the bench as serious as we took their starters, because you have to with Iowa. I mean, Ewell start for a lot of teams. Bear would start for a lot of teams. Wagner, those guys, those are going to be their starters eventually there. So our guys did a really good job of understanding personnel, but we've got to do much better in 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, whenever we play.
It seemed like you were in sort of the post-timeout huddles a little bit more tonight, particularly in the second half, and guys said that you were just really consistently.
I was in what type of huddle?
What
What?
post timeout huddle, like when the five that were on the floor would go back out after.
Oh, you got to be careful with that because the referees, be careful you say that. They think you're stealing another timeout. But
Colin said that one of the keys to maybe weathering that storm from Iowa in the second half was just how positive you stayed with the guys. I mean, how important in your mind was that going to be tonight, maybe knowing you were going to get that kind of shot at some point?
well, it wouldn't have been any good if it wasn't real. And I think they've been around me long enough to know when it's real and when it's, you know, when I'm upset about something. I mean, I felt good with them. I mean, I felt like all of our mistakes were correctable. And I thought our mindset was great. And we've had 3 really good days of work. Sunday night we were going to practice anyways, but it was more combative than what it would have been based on, you know, certainly the way we played Saturday night, and they responded to that. And I had great belief in them. I mean, if we would have lost the game, it wasn't because they weren't doing everything they could do to win. You know, we might have looked back, okay, this turnover got us or this mistake got us, but they were really, really going at it. When you got a team that's like that, you just got to keep encouraging them to believe they're going to get it done.
Yogi's maturity this year versus years past. I mean, there was a stretch he went over 9 tonight. Would he have come out of that in previous years? It seems like a little different.
Not as easy. Not as easy. I think, again, the Notre Dame game was a turning point in my mind. And what he's done, I think Colin Hartman said this to somebody at some point, because I read it somewhere, that the difference in Yogi is he takes them with him, right? Like, Yogi is so smart. He's one of the smartest players I've ever coached, and bar none. And I've coached some really smart players. But he really understands the game, and he wants to win badly. And sometimes he's his own worst enemy because he tries to do it himself. And in the past, missing those shots would have knocked him out. But I think he's starting to believe he's a really good point guard, and that this team needs him to keep his confidence up so that they keep theirs up. And when he's moving the ball, I mean, it's just a matter of time before Yogi's going to make the next shot. So, and a lot of times I can see what he needs to correct. He doesn't shoot it on the way up, and it's just a little thing. And but we got him the blow when he missed a couple, then he threw that lob that almost went over the backboard. So it's time to get a break here for a minute, and he handled that extremely well. And no trepidation, went right back in and played great. So he's really matured this year. He understands, and it's got to keep up because he's had his moments. He could have led better on Saturday night. There's no doubt about that. But he's when he attacks, but makes the game easier for his teammates. It's amazing how well he scores. It's amazing how well he does things. And he's been a focal point of everybody's scouting report for really since Cody and Vic walked out the door, right? I mean, he's been the key guy there. So, and it's even more so with no James. I mean, it just moves everybody up to the level of what they're trying to take away because James isn't there stretching the floor. So, I'm really proud of him. I mean, he's doing an excellent job, and he works hard every day to be better.
Jeff, what do you take away from the kind of like about the last, I don't know, 15 minutes or so, the fact that you guys, in Yogi's words, kind of had to take a punch, got punched in the mouth, then really had to answer the bell. What do you take away from the fact that you guys really had to come up with that second effort again there?
Crowd helped us. I mean, let's be honest about it. I mean, they stayed really strong with us. But I think these guys have been down the road. I mean, they've earned their wins. I mean, they learned a lot from the losses. They've learned a lot from the wins. And we've been in some real battles. And I think this is obviously the best team we've played. I mean, thus far. I mean, they just from top to bottom. I mean, and their top to bottom is 1 to 9, you know, with what they have. So I think they got a lot of respect for Iowa. I mean, I don't think anybody looked at it, you know, would you like to get on a run like we had at Michigan or like we had against Ohio State? No, sure you would. But the other team's got something to do with that too. So I just think they're growing up. They practice really hard, and they compete against one another. They push one another. There's a lot of encouragement with one another. I think all those things help. You know, it's the energy's high. You know, sometimes the energy may be a little negative, you know, especially maybe for me. But, I mean, it's going to be high. The energy's going to be high. And tonight it was real positive energy the whole way.
Zach Kiefer?
Hey, Tom, what What led to your decision to play Harrison early, and what did you think of the minutes he gave you?
He did a really good job. I told Harrison the other day, he's done an excellent job for us. I mean, he's turned down scholarship offers to come to Indiana. And I told him and I told Ryan Burton the same thing. It's those two aren't doing anything wrong not to play. You know, sometimes there's a reason guys aren't playing, or sometimes they're just not good enough. Those two are. We just got some other guys that are ahead of them. And it doesn't have anything to do with me that they're walk-ons, right? Because of the way they work. They're in all they do all the same things everybody else does. And it's there's no question we're playing Yogi too many minutes at times. And I knew this was going to be an extremely fast-paced game. And Harrison just needed to have that confidence. Sometimes he's his own worst enemy because he overthinks it. And we just wanted him to play fast. I wouldn't say reckless, but I mean, try to play fast and be really, really cognizant of moving the ball to people and be confident that he's out there and not worry about who he's matched up with, just do his best job. And I thought he did a fantastic job. He's tough. I mean, he's a tough young guy, and he's got to play more. I mean, it's been me, not him. I mean, it's just been playing those other guys more. But, you know, with the loss of James when it happened, we've never had that depth that you truly want at the guard position. Now we can do other things because of OG and Jawan, because of their length, and they can guard guards. But, I mean, we have to have another guy that can handle the ball. And I was really proud of the way he played.
Derek, Coach just said that this Iowa team is the best team that you faced all year.
No, absolutely, yeah.
There was talk
Thus far, yeah.
the Big Ten schedule being a little bit backloaded more than it was front-loaded with not a lot of upper echelon Big Ten teams in that 9-2 start. Does this performance in any way validate your team's success?
No, we didn't have anything to do with the schedule. I get a kick out of that. I mean, we got the schedule the computer gave us. You know, we have our non-league schedule, you know, that we pick, but we got the schedule that the computer gave us. I mean, and so it is what it is. I mean, and certainly there's going to be television ramifications in there, you know, for the time of year with Big Ten Network or ESPN, CBS, things like that. I understand that, but no, I mean, I think that the mentality of this team, especially going back to early December, has been nobody is taking anybody lightly that we play, whether it's non-league, whether it's league, whatever it is. Every game has got a tremendous value. I mean, we were kind of left for dead, right? I mean, so they had to respond that way. I mean, and they did. That's why we won those games. So, no, I don't feel like that. I feel like our guys battled against one of the best teams in the country, and we came out with the victory, and we got to go back there in a few weeks.
Pete, last question.
Tone, you faced the Big Ten's best shot blocking team. You were attacking the basket, yet Iowa only had one block. What were you doing to minimize their shot blocking ability?
Well, I would say the easy answer is we weren't trying to take it into the shot blockers, but I think some of them were rebounds. I think some was getting behind the defense. They did a really good job post-defense. I mean, they made it really hard for us to get the ball inside, and we worked on that. We knew they were going to three-quarter, and we tried to triangle it a little bit, or have a triangle on a side where we could kind of either enter it from the wing or the corner, and they did a really good job with that. So we're going to have to really adjust how we get in it on them again. But I think early on in the second half, and I don't have a great answer for you because, I mean, we don't want to take challenge shots, right? But early on in the second half, we were so cognizant on trying to get it inside, and we weren't getting it, and they were coming down and getting layups and dunks, that we just had to play, you know, and let it flow the way that it flows. So when that's happening, you know, we get behind the defense, we get some shots from three, we get some shots in the paint, and we're not a team that's going in trying to attack shot blockers. That's not what we're built for. So I'd have to watch the film to give you a real, more of a clear-cut answer, but that's more the mindset when we go. All right? All right, thank you.
First question, Alex.
You guys outscored them 28-0 on bench points. Just talk about what the bench was able to do for you guys tonight.
Yeah, they came in and gave us great energy. You know, Nick, OG, Jawan. Jawan especially, he had a key offensive rebound tip in with about 2 or some minutes to go. And that's just what's so special about our team. You know, everybody comes in and they do what they're supposed to do. They play their role. You know, never get discouraged and not getting the ball. You know, they get in, defend. And, you know, they're definitely, everybody's a key part of this team. And I felt like everybody tonight that went into that game impacted the game.
Next question.
Harrison, just Were these maybe like the biggest minutes you played your entire life, I guess?
Yeah, it was a big game. Obviously Iowa's a great team. We knew that coming in. And, Coach told me this week that I just need to be ready, need to stay ready. So I like to treat every time I get in as the biggest minutes I'm getting in and just try to impact the game in any way I can.
Harrison, was this sort of the reason you came to play here? Games like this?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, the Indiana basketball, this was like at its. This was awesome. You play in front of somehow was rocking. The fans were electric, and when they get behind us, we get rolling. It's a lot of fun to play. So, it's definitely a big reason why I decided to come here.
Harrison, there was a possession in the first half where you had an open shot and didn't take it, and it looked like Coach said something to you when you came out. And then the second half, you were open and shot it right away. Was it just instinct, or was what he told you, I guess?
Yeah, it was a little instinct in the second half. I just got to be. Everyone's telling me to be more aggressive. Yogi is a great leader and always tells me to be more aggressive and look for my shot. In the first half, I just need to be a little more aware of the shot clock and whatnot. But when these guys instill confidence in me like they always do, it's real easy just to kind of revert back to instinct and knock down a shot or two to help us.
Colin, you guys get the lead, you lose the lead, Iowa gets ahead a little bit, then you gotta kind of answer the bell, especially that last 10 minutes. How important was that, the gut check there down the stretch to pull it out?
They're a great team, very strong, very resilient. So you can't really dig yourself a big hole with those kind of teams. So we just had to stay consistent and stay persistent and stay together as a team. And I think we showed from top to bottom that we're maturing as a team, being very, very connected. And that's a big thing that we stress is being connected as a team on the court and in everything that we do. So we showed really good connectedness tonight and pulled out the win by staying focused and not getting down when things don't go our way or shots don't fall or whatever. So I think we did a really good job tonight.
Yogi, you really struggled from shooting the ball, but can you just talk about how other guys really picked it up tonight?
Yeah, a couple of my shots didn't go in, but, guys like Nick, Rob, they were making shots from the outside. The great thing we just needed to do more of, I felt like this game, was move the ball, especially move bodies, not have the ball stick so much. But, I felt like we played through adversity, playing great defense, and, we just found a way to win.
You guys are now tied in a three-way tie atop of the Big Ten Conference. I guess, what can a win like this against the top 5 opponent do for you guys moving forward?
It can just propel us to our ultimate goal, which is, Big Ten championship. We definitely want to win it outright, but, we know we've got a few more places to stop, a couple more games home in order for us to do that. But this is definitely another step in the right direction for our team. And, we're definitely going to learn from this, watch the film, see, different ways we can try and win this game.
I guess, Colin, you talked a little bit about just having to rally through their run there in the second half. It looked like Coach was kind of out on the floor with you guys in the huddle, out of timeouts, maybe more than he normally is. Just kind of what was he saying? What was he doing to keep you guys just sort of steady and focused through that second half stretch where they were scoring a lot?
And Coach stayed with us, like he always does. Stays with us and doesn't get mad at us too much, and keeps us confident, keeps our hopes up, and keeps us playing hard. It's all motivation right there, and he never gives up on us, never quits, no matter what happens in the games. And him coming out and talking to us and trying to get us going and keep us going, it really helps throughout the game, and I think all the guys can agree with that.
Mike, do you feel like you guys maybe got a monkey off your back a little bit, just getting to this point, beating a ranked team, a top 5 team at a point when the schedule's tightening up a little bit?
It's a great win. They're a great team. The crowd was great, and we take it game by game. And we prepared very well, and we're all very focused. And every game is a big game from here on out because it's so tight. So we have to come in with the same focus every day. But this was a great win for our team, confidence-wise, and we'll see him again. I know that.
I guess just to circle back to that, though, you said every game's a big game from here on out. What does it say about this team that it's been able to through the adversity you guys had through the beginning of the year, put yourself in a position where every game matters as much as it's going to for the last 3 weeks of your season?
Well, I mean, we knew that we had a good team from the beginning of the season. It was just a matter of putting things together and playing like that we're capable of, and maturing throughout the season, and being connected, developing the chemistry, and knowing where guys are going to be, and keeping each other positive through those adverse times. Because if you get down, you can go one of two ways. When things get bad, you can fall off and crumble, or you can rise to the occasion. And I think that we've done a really good job of rising to the occasion when adversity hits.
You guys had 85, I think, and not one player scored more than 14. Didn't really get, Thomas was in foul trouble almost the whole game. Is it more significant to win a game like that when it's such a broad team performance?
Yeah, I think so, because, it's kind of like they can't kind of key in on one guy, basically. Everybody has strengths, and I felt like everybody played to their strengths tonight. And, we never got discouraged in ourselves. I felt like we shared the ball very well. Probably need to move bodies a little more, but, that's what's special about our team is, we work very hard in practice, guys getting up extra shots. And, I think that paid off tonight.
Give me your thoughts. Why do you feel you guys were able to kind of take Iowa's punch, then turn around and manage to develop this offense?
Well, a big part of it, was Coach Crean in the huddles. He kept telling us, we're going to win this game, we're going to win this game. And I felt like looking around, guys believed that we were going to win this game. And, we basically carried that onto the court. And, we were definitely with him on that. And I felt like, they hit us in the mouth a little bit, but we stayed connected. That's the biggest thing. And, against a great team like Iowa, you definitely can't, like Colin says, get down and crumble. You just got to get back up and keep fighting.